Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Just a quick video. So, yeah. Right, I've mentioned these things before, but I'm going to do it in one video this time. Right, the devil has created two churches. The two main churches. I mean, there's cults and cults and cults that he's also created, but there are two main churches that are the biggest churches, or the biggest religions in the world. He created both. One to stop the Christian church, and one to destroy Israel. The one to stop the Christian church was the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church was set up by the devil, and he used the impending death of Rome, the Roman Empire, to create this new church and to take the religious beliefs and bring them together with a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then have this understanding that that was the accepted belief, and any belief that went against it would be wiped out. And that was the idea, was to destroy the early Christian church. And because at that point the Christian church was only a few hundred years old. Still very, very young as a church. But spreading quite nicely. And this is what the devil used. Basically, he got the attention of Constantine, and he saw how people were willing to die for that belief, so he knew the Roman Empire was dying, and he knew basically, okay, if we have religion like this, then people would die for the emperor, which is now called Pope. It's the same thing. The Pope is the emperor. So therefore, okay. And yeah, he created Islam out of the remnants of the descendants of Ishmael. Well, because, yeah, he tried to defeat Christ, couldn't defeat Christ, so he tried to destroy the Church of Christ, which was the Christian church, or what's seen as the Christian church, and replace that with the Catholic Church, which is why people believe the Catholic Church is the Christian church, which it isn't. It's a demonic church. I'm not saying there aren't people in those belief systems that aren't of God, or won't be of God, because that isn't true. But those two belief systems have been the most murderous of any belief system. Okay, Carney, the who basically had a massive army years before that. He killed a lot of people, yes, but basically that was Islam anyway. At that time, that was basically Islamic. So therefore, yeah, same thing. Pretty much, it came from the same tribes from Ishmael. So yeah. So I'm not absolutely and totally clued up on all that sort of stuff, but I know, yeah, it all comes down to the same thing, really. But the devil's desire was to wipe out that which is of God. And so, yes, creating two huge belief systems to do that. One which would naturally hate Israel, because that chip on their shoulder. Yeah. And yes, and then the Catholic Church, which would be, some religious thing keeping power in Rome and basically keeping the Roman army going. And of course, you only have to look at Ireland and places like that, the troubles that have come through Catholicism. Look at Crusades. A lot of people think Crusades was Christians. It wasn't, it was Catholics. It was Catholics, it was not Christians who were doing that, it was Catholics. Yeah. Yes, as I say, Islam and Catholicism have had murderous paths. Very, very murderous paths. And, in the end, both will come together. Because put it this way, and this is something that the world has chosen not to accept or understand or believe, and the church has not really believed it. But in World War II, the Germans tried to eradicate the Jews. And which main country from Europe was on the side of Germany? The Italians. Okay. Now, the Italians are what? Of what religion? Catholics. Yeah. And the person who chose what the Italians would do in that war was the Pope. So at that point in time, the Pope was supporting the Germans to kill all the Jews. In the future, they will join with the Muslims. So both of the religions created by the devil will join together to go against the Jews. And very soon afterwards will be when Yeshua returns. But we have to understand, when talking about Islam, when talking about Muslims, when saying there are peaceful Muslims, no, that's not. The same as I said before, there's no such thing as a non-radical Christian, because Christianity is radical. And it is a very, very radical belief. Anyone who's a non-radical Christian is not a Christian. Anyone who's a non-radical Muslim is not a Muslim. Anyone who's actually a Muslim is radical and will hate Israel because it's in their blood. It's completely in their blood. So if people think people in Gaza, some of them don't actually hate the Jews, they're wrong. Of course they do. It's in their blood. Yeah. Yeah. So therefore, try to understand and realise what the devil is actually doing, because it's in the Word of God anyway, isn't it? Yeah. All the nations will go against Israel at the end of the days. Okay? And we are so close near to that time right now. But understand how that will happen. So there you go. Be blessed and be a blessing. Enjoy. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll speak to you later. Bye bye.